GBA for iOS is a Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color emulator for iPhones and iPads running iOS 9 all the way to the current 11.2.1. Today I'm going to show you how to download, compile, and install GBA for iOS on one of your devices. First, you'll need a few things: a computer running macOS, Xcode, which is free on the Mac App Store, Terminal, which comes pre-installed with macOS, CocoaPods, which I'll show you how to download today, and the source code for GBA for iOS. So to get started, open up your browser of choice, go to CocoaPods.org, and scroll down to the install section and copy this command. Once you've copied the command, you will open up Terminal and go ahead and paste that in and hit return. You will type in the password to the account you're logged in as on the computer, and the installation will begin. Now CocoaPods is installed on this machine, and now we need the GBA for iOS source. So if we go to the GBA for iOS bitbucket page and copy this URL on the overview, and then go back to Terminal, and you'll need to type in git space clone space and then paste in the URL that you just copied and hit return. So now GBA for iOS is being cloned from bitbucket to the root of the user directory. Now that GBA for iOS is downloaded, we're going to need to generate the pod project that's necessary to compile GBA for iOS. So, first you'll want to type in ls to find out where you're at in the directory and hit return. So you can see I'm at the root of my user directory, and GBA for iOS is right here. So we need to get into that folder. So type in cd space GBA for iOS as displayed in the folder list above. Now if you'll notice at the top of your window, it shows that you are in the folder of GBA for iOS. So let's generate the pod project. Type in pod space install and hit return. So GBA for iOS has a pre-made pod file that Riley took care of. So then when you type in the pod install command, it already knows which pods to download and then generate. Now we've generated the pod project for GBA for iOS, and it's ready to be compiled and ran on a device like the iPhone 10 or the iPhone 8. So we can close Terminal, go to Finder, go to the root of the user directory, go to GBA for iOS, and then open up the XC workspace. Not the project, the workspace. Now, if you haven't built anything in Xcode before, to make sure you have proper signing, you'll need to go to Xcode, Preferences, Accounts, and then you'll need to log in with your Apple ID so Xcode can manage the signing profile for your device. Once you've done that, go to GBA for iOS right here, and you'll be brought to the overview page. If you've logged in with your Apple ID, you can select you as your team, and Xcode will manage that profile. Then you'll want to select your device and then hit build and run. Now I'm running this on a MacBook Air, so the compiling process will probably take longer than it may for users with higher end computers. so your build times will vary. For the first launch, sometimes it takes a little longer, but you can see I already had some games installed. I can open up Pokemon Yellow, and it's completely playable. Alright guys, so that's how you download, compile, and install GBA for iOS. If you guys have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter, Nathan_Souter. A link will be in the description, and I hope you guys have some fun.